Delin, you ever open the mail, you see these ads, look in the newspaper, you're watching TV, and even checking out the internet, things aren't always what they appear.
Spoken like a true politician.
Hey, and I approve this message.
Today we are talking about deceptive practices.
Hello, everybody. This is Moving Forward TV, and my name is Barry Horvath. I almost lost my head there, Delin.
Literally.
And this is your local market update.
And you know what? It wouldn't be the first time you lost your head. Huh?
No, I know.
We've had that happen before.
Listen, I got my head back, okay? We're going to talk about some really deceptive things like
stuff you get in the mail.
The mail, TV, internet, all that garbage.
All that false advertising.
Yeah, so right now with the mortgage market is heating up. In fact, it's to a boiling point, one might say. And with those new...
with the strength, let's look at the positives. The strength in the market that's coming back. The market has seen a good comeback right now throughout the entire country, and especially down here in our area. Houses are picking up. There's not a lot on the market. All of you realtors out there.
For you people outside the country.
All of the realtors are definitely busy, and there's not enough. The number one complaint I hear, there's not enough inventory on the market. Well, with the good
comes the bad. And the ugly.
And it's coming.
And the FTC says that there's a lot of ugliness out there, and they're cracking down on it. So when all this new business comes in, people jump in the market, and they want a piece of that pie.
Right.
You're going to see, I know, dun, dun, dun.
Surprise, surprise.
Some deceptive practices going on out there. So, we're going to talk a little bit about deception today, now that I got my head back.
I know. We wanted to touch on some of the things that you get in the mail, starting with that stuff. Or, like you said, even the stuff that you see on the internet while you were looking other places.
Yes, I was.
Stuff
Sorry.
you see on the internet.
It's my first set of new products. Have you seen our new product line? Sorry. How is that? Is that a true politician or what?
She's spoken like a true politician.
I love that line too.
That's good.
So let's talk about some of the things that's going on out there and some of the ads. You get a lot of people don't realize that when you buy a home and you close on it, it's public record. They know who your lender is. They know what your loan size potentially is. They even know potentially what your rate is because it is public record. So people think that there's all this misleading stuff in it, and it looks like it because you'll get a mailer that comes from who you've been working with for the last 3 months trying to close your loan. You like how generous I was in that period? Because it only takes 90 days to close. I'm just kidding. A lot of people are closing in 30, which is a good thing.
But you're right. They do. They make it look like it's coming directly from your lender. So your lender name will be on it, so you're thinking that it's from them. And even if you bought your house a while ago, it's not usually from them. And it's in the fine, fine, fine print that you'll see that sometimes they don't even know it. Keep in mind, they buy mailing lists. There's mailing companies out there who that's what they do, printing companies and such, and nothing's bad about it, but they will buy mailing lists with your information on it, and depending upon what the particular mortgage company or whoever it is who is sending out the mailers, how much did they pay, is what's on there. Does it just have your lender? Like Barry said, does it have your rate on it? Does it have your payment on it? We could lower your payment. This is what your payment is now. And you say, it must be my lender because this is accurate. This is what my payment is at. Not necessarily the case.
Yes, there's so much deception there, particularly. Because just the ad alone, to me, if it's coming from a third party and it's not from my lender, in my mind, that's deception in itself. And they're done very cleverly.
Very cleverly. And some of them look official. They'll say government. The government is, you've qualified for this government program and stuff like that.
And they use that HUD seal on there. And they're cracking down on that. They don't like that just because you're, so it looks very official.
So read it carefully. Some of the things that they're going to say is low rates. Yes,
Low rate
rates are low.
or
no
low
kidding.
fixed rate.
Right.
Low fixed rate. So you got to ask the question if you are going to step out on the bridge or out on the plank in this case.
Right.
You're going to step on that plank and look, you got to ask the right questions because it could be a fixed rate. So if it's a low fixed rate, how long is it fixed for? That's one of the big things the FTC is cracking down on because it could actually be a fixed rate for 30 days. And then after that, it could go to whatever. So very dangerous. Check it out. Ask all those questions. How long is the rate really fixed for?
And I've even seen them say that it's a fixed rate when it's fixed for 5 years. And they'll say, well, it is fixed. Yeah, but only for 5 years. So read the fine print, call the people on the phone, definitely clarify exactly what you're getting. How long is it fixed for? When does the rate lock? That's another thing. They might say, 2.99% on a fixed rate. Well, when does that 2.99 factor in, and what are the costs associated with that? Because you've heard of things like points. You can buy down the interest rate to that. And any lender can do this. Make sure if you don't already have a loan officer, talk to a realtor perhaps who will hook you up with an honest lender and who just can look at the paperwork for you and say, you know what, this is deceptive. This isn't right. This isn't right. Most lenders out there can do the same thing. So talk to somebody reputable, somebody in your neighborhood. Shop local. Shop local.
I think the key words here, Delyn, are check it out, do your due diligence, and find out when can that payment change.
Right.
But you know what? All of this deceptive stuff makes me really hungry.
Speaking of shopping local.
So let's go. Let's take a look at what Casey's cooking up today. I think she's cooking up some pork medallion with butter sage. So
Yum.
We're gonna have that for breakfast today.
Sounds good.
Yep. We'll be right back after we have a little food break.
I'm Casey Guaretti. This is Chat and Dish, and today on the menu we're going to be using a pork tenderloin. Sage, pork tenderloin, butter, and a little bit of salt and pepper. That's our ingredients. Simplicity at its finest. Make sure that you take any fat off the outside of your pork tenderloin and then grab a really sharp knife, start about 2 inches back, and you're going to cut very thin slices on the diagonal. All right, just keep slicing until you've done your whole pork tenderloin. You're going to have about 12 to 15 slices depending on how big your pork tenderloin is. And I usually figure 3 slices per person. What I'm doing right now is laying out parchment paper, and then I'm going to put all of my little pork tenderloins on the parchment paper ready to be pounded out. All right, cover your pork tenderloins with another piece of parchment paper and then go ahead and pound them out. You want them about 1/8 of an inch thick. I'm using one of these little kitchen hammers. It's a tenderizer on one side and flat on the other. But you know, a wine bottle works, the bottom of a frying pan, whatever you have in your kitchen, go ahead and use it. Okay, what I'm doing with my hand is just making sure that the edges of each one of these pork medallions is the same thickness as the center. Sometimes when you're pounding, an edge has a tendency to kind of be a little bit thicker than the center, and we want them the same thickness all the way through, about 1/8 of an inch like I said before, and that way we've got even cooking ahead of us. Okay, we're ready. Off to the stove. I've got a couple tablespoons of butter that I'm melting into the bottom of my pan. You want this pan good and hot before your pork tenderloins go in. Butter is bubbling away. Now in go the tenderloins, and don't crowd them. We want each one to have its own little space. You can see how quickly they're cooking. The edges are already cooked. They're going to shrink a little bit. They'll end up a little bit thicker and a little bit smaller. They are cooking right away. When the edges are done, as it's moving in, then it'll be time to turn them. You can see right here, it's already getting done almost all the way through. All right, first one is gonna get turned. Second one turned. You see the edges are a little bit brown. That's our browned butter starting. Ooh, isn't that lovely? All right, these 3 are gonna come off, and 3 more are going to go on. See how they're done and a little bit browned on the other side. All right, next batch of our little pork medallions go in. All right, you can see how fast they are cooking. Our butter is browning. These are gorgeous. Let's check. Oof, looking fantastic. See how this one is almost done all the way through? Let's flip it over. We've got our heat on medium-high. Want to keep the butter browned, not burned. All right, these will be ready to take off. You can see, cooked all the way through. You can see how fast they're cooking. We're at medium-high. Our butter is browned, staying nicely browned, not burning. And our pork medallions are cooking through very quickly. That's the joy of this recipe. It's done in no time at all. Okay, these little babies come off. Go onto our serving platter. Now what we're going to do is add a couple of more tablespoons of butter right into the pan, along with our sage leaves. Leave the sage leaves whole. We want them to saute in the butter. A nice browned butter with all our pork tenderloin flavorings in it. Okay, sprinkling of salt and pepper into this sauce. Not too much. I'm using salted butter, so I hold back on the salt just a little bit. Oh, look at those gorgeous sage leaves. All right, now all we have to do is take our browned butter and pour it over our pork medallions. Listen to that sizzle. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? How fabulous is that? A little cleanup around the edges of our serving platter, and then it's off to the table. I'm Casey Quadetti. This is Chat and Dish. Until next time, I'm gonna miss you.
Pork medallions will never be the same.
She is so good.
Unbelievable.
It makes everything look so easy.
Oh, yeah.
And yummy.
Yeah, it's easy to eat for me. That's all I can say. Where did the word medallion come from?
I don't know.
You know, like, how come there's no chicken medallions?
I don't know.
But there's steak and pork medallions.
Casey would know the answer, I'll bet.
Let's get her on the show. Casey!
She is such a fascinating person. I just love her.
I know. She is awesome. So let's get back to deception.
Yes.
Because, yeah, there was no deception about the pork.
No.
So, Dylan, you know, there's so much fraud out there in the busy market, like
Right.
we talked about. And, you know, there's a lot of
And your
other
mailbox
things,
getting flooded and your email getting flooded with all of these things.
all this stuff.
Right.
So the FTC is really,
Federal Trade Commission.
yeah, for the acronym people.
That's right.
Since you didn't have that handle, they could have Googled it.
Who monitors all of this for the entire country,
Yes,
and not
they
just
do.
mortgages. Obviously, we're kind of zeroing in on mortgages, but for everything, they've got the consumers back.
I can't wait till next week because we're going to talk about more scams.
Scam show next week. That'll be a good one.
It's going to be good. So let's talk about some of the other deceptive things that they're doing out there.
That we want you guys to be careful of. Well, there's good and bad. So, like I was saying, when
Can we talk about something good?
Yes. When you do close on your house, whether you bought a house or whether you refinance, when you close on the house, your mailbox is going to get flooded. Not necessarily everything is from the mortgage company, although it all looks like it's from the mortgage company. We do encourage you, open it and read everything, to be careful, because most of the time, or a lot of the times, the lender will assign your loan to a servicing company. Very few lenders will make the loan and keep it. Almost 90, even the banks, 99.9% of them, they will give the loan to a servicer. So one of those things in there is going to be how to set your loan up on automatic payment, or the web address so that you can make online payments and all kinds of things like that, introducing the servicing company. So we do encourage you, open everything and read it. That is important. But in there, we're also going to get some crap.
Yeah, there's all kinds of crap.
Can I say crap?
Yeah, you can say it because this is web-based. So, one of my favorite ones that comes in there is the one with the get a copy of your deed.
For a price.
Yeah, and it's like what a scam. $85 will send you, now that you've closed on your new home loan, you can get a copy of your official deed. Well, and they're going to charge you a fee of $85.
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah.
I'm like thinking, why didn't I think of that business? Because you can go online and get that for free.
Yes.
And a third-party company is making a business out of that.
And I know. And actually, most of the time, your title company will give you the deed for free.
Yeah, I mean,
you will get it for free.
And I can't believe how many people fall for that.
I know.
And and good thing some people are smart enough to call their lender and say, hey, what is this? Or their title company, and they
Yes.
can tell them, this was a scam.
And a lot of the title companies are actually starting to say that at closing. But you know, there's so much signing going on at closing, and it's so overwhelming with the pile of paper and all the people sitting around the table, the sellers, the buyers, and everybody's excited, and the buyers and the sellers and everybody. And the title companies have been telling people at the closings that I've attended, they're definitely telling people, be careful, you're going to get this letter in the mail. You do not have to send in $85 or whatever the amount is. But people forget. So realtors, just remind your clients after the fact. I know a lot of us keep in touch with them, remind them, if you get anything weird in the mail that you don't understand, just call either your mortgage lender or call your realtor or something like that. Just
just another follow-up after you do close. You were talking about the servicing thing, and I know I wanted to go back on that. When you close, that new servicer is going to be in place. Remember that servicer, you know, if you make payments to the old one that you close with, that you've been working with for 90 days trying to close, they're going to internally transfer that payment over to the new servicer.
Right.
And just so you don't panic and freak out about that, there is a law in place that says they cannot report you late for 60 days after a transfer of a loan. So they know there's going to be quirks when your loan is sold. So there's that time. So don't panic about it. And don't get mad at your lender and beat them up because the loan was sold. It's going to be sold, just like you said.
Right.
And, you know, you're going to get a new address. You're going to have to put in a new bill pay. That's just the way it works.
And what people don't understand is that all loans get sold on the secondary market. Quite frankly, no bank is big enough or lender is big enough to lend out $200,000 and wait 30 years for it to come back to them. They're going to sell it on the secondary market, it's called, and they're going to lend it to the next person. So that's what keeps the world going around.
Round and round.
Financially.
Round and round. All right, so let's talk about some of the other things that come in the mail.
Oh, yes.
So you didn't buy the deed.
So you didn't buy the deed. Good
and you
for
sent your payment to the wrong servicer. And then beyond all that, then you get all these life insurance quotes.
And like 5 a day come in the mail.
That is one of the biggest databases ever.
And they all say the lender's name on it.
Yep.
They're not from the lender.
Remember, it is public record. Anybody can download your information. And you're like, how do they know all this? How do they know how big my loan is? And how did they know that XYZ Mortgage was my mortgage company? And how do they know I needed life insurance?
I know. They think you think it comes from your lender because it has your lender's name all over it, but it's not from your lender. Again, they buy these lists that somebody goes to the public, it's public records, and they purchase these lists because they're trying to sell you life insurance is what that comes down to. Mortgage life insurance.
Yes.
Now, you actually...
we won't get into too much details on this.
Have a license in that.
Yes,
but
mortgage protection insurance can be a very valuable thing to a consumer, and it could be, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, you're buying to protect your family and your legacy
and your asset.
Yes, because, you know, you never know what can happen. I always use the rule of, you know, should I buy this, should I not? You should do your research before you buy. And then the other analogy is, you know, if you have a spare tire in your car, when are you going to need it? But the day you take that spare out of your trunk, when are you going to need it?
I know.
You're going to need it that day, for crying out loud. That's just the way it works. So, you know, it is a necessary evil. But look at them, because there's all different types of mortgage protection out there. There's term, there's whole life, universal life. There's, you know, ones that just protect, you know, guaranteed issue for your mortgage. So make sure you get with a professional that can educate that. And don't just pick up the phone and say, sign me up for this, because it may not be the best deal, even though it might look like the lowest payment for this coverage. Look at the whole picture.
Talk to them, by all means. Talk to them. Get the information that so that you understand what they're offering. But then please, please, please call a financial planner. I'm sure a lot of financial planners do consultations, right? Absolutely.
If you've got somebody you're already working with as a professional and you have a relationship, run it by them first.
Right.
So that they can educate you, or edumacate you, as we say on this show, on what's going on and how it can impact you. So,
we do agree that everyone needs to protect your mortgage, your asset, your you know, your payments. You want to make sure that it can happen after either your death or an accident or something like that. But make sure, don't just jump at the first thing that you see. Definitely educate yourself.
Get you educated. Speaking of education, Devin has an outstanding tip for us this week from McWilliams & Son on your AC system. So let's get educated right now.
How are you doing today? My name is Devin with McWilliams & Son Air Conditioning, and today what I wanted to let you know or talk about today is maintenance. Now up here I have a few items. I have some coil cleaner. I have some different types of float switches. Now, what is maintenance exactly, or what does it pertain to? Well, it's always looking at your drain, cleaning your coils, making sure your filters are changed, making sure all your connections are tight and snug. One of the things you should always look to, some of the older equipment that was installed never had float switches installed. Every homeowner in their lifespan has seen spotting on their ceiling or even had water leaking in their garage. It's because these older units didn't have switches installed. Nowadays, with the new codes, new installations, you have a pan switch installed and a main switch installed. This is your main, this is your secondary. What these do is in the event your unit floods or your drain gets clogged, these will shut down your system or make it so it stops running. This will in turn will either have you give us a call or let you know that you should actually have your drain cleaned, or that is now a good time to have your maintenance looked at. Other things that have been coming out new in the industry is you're starting to see more and more aluminum coils. The old acids, the old chemicals, they are not healthy for the coil and they do not prolong the lifespan of your equipment. They can actually cause damage. The newer chemicals that are out, is this one in particular, is an aluminum coil cleaner. Many trucks should have these on their stock, but it is made to clean that coil without providing any extra damage to your equipment. Give us a call at McWilliams & Son.
So much good stuff going on in the industry right now. You know what? I got to tell you,
Over and above the deceptive stuff.
Yeah, I was going to talk about.
Just watch out for all that stuff, guys.
It was the weirdest sensation to have my head on your body. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it was definitely weird.
Was it good for you?
My face wasn't soft anymore.
Yeah, you got a little rough. And yeah, we won't go any further, okay?
Yeah. Stop.
No.
He's just so bad.
I'm not so bad.
Anyway, so let's wrap up with what's going on in the industry
By
and
the way,
in our community.
Did you pick up on that AC tip? That's a good one. We're going to have one every week now.
I love Devin, and I love McWilliams & Son.
Yeah,
yes,
so
they
check them out.
They do a great job.
Sponsor,
Devin.
So, you know, I don't know how these guys learn all this stuff, but
I don't know.
whatever. We're never going to learn it. We got our hands
Thank
full
God
right here
they know
with
it,
all
you
this
know?
junk. So let's talk about some upcoming dates coming up.
Stuff that we've got coming up. Okay,
So right now, going on, live in the studio, we've got...
In the other room.
We have our once a month
WPBA mixer.
Yep, and it is right here at the Tampa Bay Multimedia Center.
And it is open for anyone. So if you happen to be watching us live, hurry on down to the Tampa Bay Multimedia Center, which is at...
What's the address?
Grand 6345?
6345 Grand Boulevard, right here, downtown Newport Richey. You can't miss it. It's a great location. This week, what we're doing is it's Main Street, and Main Street is, you know,
Main Street is Main Street. They always have some good stuff going.
They're a nonprofit 501c3 that helps promote local businesses right here in
and
the
the events that we all see and enjoy at Sims Park and around the area.
And let's talk about a big event coming up, June 25th, Summer Suds Barbecue.
Our barbecue.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. It's one of those craft beer festivals, per se. We have vendor spots available. You'll find, you know, if you want to know more about it, you can go on wpba.biz, or contact Maria Johnson, the director of the organization, to find out how you can get your spot. But there's going to be craft beer, and you get little sips of all this beer,
right?
And you're going to walk around. And
it's not just wine or beer, but it's wine as well. So it's a wine tasting and a beer tasting, craft beer tasting. So it's going to be fun. You're going to have wristbands and things like that, so you can get to try everything and figure out what your favorite is.
Yeah. And of course, lots of food.
June 25th from 5 to 10, I think, something like that. It's more towards the evening.
And it's going to be at Gulfview Square Mall, right
and
here.
And food trucks will be there too. So that'll be fun.
Yep. So ask me how I'm doing.
So, okay, so on the political front, Bear, tell us.
Oh, Glenn!
Glad you asked.
So glad you asked me how I'm doing. Well, on the campaign trail, is that where you're speaking?
Okay, that was good. Thanks. No, I'm kidding.
No, actually, it's
Go ahead. You got 30
well.
seconds. I'm kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
What's going on?
We don't want to bore people with politics.
But really, what's going on? How's campaigning going?
Campaign
is it good?
Is going good. I'm officially on the ballot for November.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah,
We're so excited.
So it's going to be weird. It's going to be me and Donald and probably Hillary on the same ballot. Have you guys ever thought about that? Think about that. My
Wow.
name with them. I know our producer will be happy. He'll be like, you and Trump, you're my buds, right? Sorry, but yeah, but it's going good. It's a little crazy, but it's all good. And I actually have another meet and greet coming up June 29th. It's a Tuesday night at Oasis Coffee Shop in Port Richey at 5:30. So come on by Tuesday night.
And that's a great little coffee shop, Oasis on Little Road.
It's gonna be free food, and we'll have refreshments and stuff, and you get to come in.
And you can meet Barry, and you can ask him all the questions that you always wanted to know. Ask a politician about what's going on in Pasco County.
Absolutely.
Or some of the improvements or things that you would like to see done. And he's going to take all that good stuff
Yeah.
to office when he wins in November.
Yeah, so that's coming up. So, and we'll come, school's getting out.
Yes,
So,
be careful on the roads.
Yeah, the kids will be out. It's summer. I can't believe it.
Enjoy.
And we're going to keep doing our show every week during the summer.
When you take your vacation, take us with you.
Yeah, please. Yeah, because you don't want to leave home without us.
That's right. We appreciate everyone watching. Share us, like us, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, right? Did I get them all?
No.
No.
You
I know.
missed your Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Instagram. You did say Twitter.
Yes.
Boy,
I
I'm
know
getting a
that's
big
your
following
latest
on
thing, Twitter, huh?
Twitter's getting big.
You're tweeting a lot.
Yeah, well, LinkedIn, I got like a gazillion people looking at my
That's
profile.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I'm a little afraid.
If you're not on social media, you need to be.
Yeah. And don't
That's kind
forget,
of where the world is.
Most important thing is share this show. Get us out there.
That's right.
All
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you watching. We are today and every day.
Moving forward.
We'll see everyone next week. Bye-bye.